Retirement planning can feel overwhelming, but today I'm going to make it simple for you. Hey guys, welcome to today's topic on 5 retirement misconceptions. Rather than focusing on numbers and charts, I want to share key retirement concepts that truly matter because everyone's retirement journey is different, is unique. A single person retiring will have very different needs from a parent putting 3 kids through university, for example. In my years working with clients at different stages of retirement, I've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't. So today, I'm not just going to share theory, but real lessons from those who successfully navigated retirement and some who've made costly mistakes. So understanding these misconceptions now can actually save you years of financial stress later. So as we go through them, let me know in the comments below if any of them surprise you. And if you like personalized guidance for your own retirement plan, my contact details will be at the end of the video. Now, let's dive into 5 retirement misconceptions that could impact your financial future and what you can do about them. Let's get started. Before we jump into common retirement misconceptions, let's take a step back. What does retirement really mean to you? At its core, retirement is a new chapter in your life story. It's when you transition from the daily grind of work to a time where you actually have more freedom to shape your days however you choose. And it's not just about stopping work, it's about starting a new adventure. For some, that might mean traveling the world. For others, it's about spending more time with family, loved ones, diving into passion projects, or rediscovering hobbies you never got to try before. The beauty of retirement is that you get to define what it looks like. But with freedom comes great responsibility, like the very famous quote from Spider-Man. The choices we make today will determine the kind of retirement we'll have tomorrow. That's why planning ahead isn't just about money, it's about making sure your future aligns with the life that you truly want. Let me share 2 powerful quotes that capture the essence of retirement. Retirement is not the end of the road, it's the beginning of the open highway. This quote reminds us that retirement isn't about slowing down, it's about embracing new opportunities, the new freedom to explore new paths in life. The second quote, the question isn't at what age I want to retire, it's at what income, by George Foreman, an Olympic gold medalist from US. And his words actually highlight a very crucial point. Retirement isn't just about reaching a certain age, a number. It's about having the financial means to actually enjoy this stage of your life. As we go through common misconceptions about retirement, keep these ideas in mind. Retirement is a journey, and like any journey, it requires preparation, it requires planning, and a clear vision of where you want to go. So rather than focusing on specific numbers, specific figures in this presentation, I'll be emphasizing key retirement concepts because financial needs are very personal and they vary from person to person. For example, while some may feel that saving $500,000 is enough for a comfortable retirement, others might find that it barely covers their expenses. That's why understanding the right approach to retirement planning is more important than just fixating on a specific dollar amount. Misconception number 1. CPF is enough for my retirement. My CPF savings will cover all my retirement needs. Now, let's break down the CPF retirement sums for 2025 and how they impact you. In 2025, the full retirement sum, or FRS, is set at $213,000 with the CPF Life Standard Plan. Alright, for those who want a bit of a higher payout when they turn 65, there is the enhanced retirement sum, which is set at $426,000 as of 2025. Now remember, this amount is the sum of money that you have to set aside in your retirement account that will be formed at the age of 55 years old. Okay, but you will not receive the payout until you turn 65, which is 10 years later. Now let's fast forward in time and see how much this will give you. So what you see on my screen is the CPF Life payouts that is based on the standard plan and the current CPF interest rate of 4%. All right, this will set the foundation for your retirement income. However, we do need to ask ourselves, are these payouts enough for comfortable living? For the full retirement sum set aside at 55, by the time you turn 65, you can expect to receive approximately $1,560 to about $1,670, assuming you have set aside $213,000 when you were 55 years old. Now, if you're on the enhanced retirement sum, which you have set aside at 55, you can expect to receive a higher amount, which is approximately $2,280 to about $2,450. Okay. Now we need to ask ourselves, all right, will this be able to cover as the cost of living continue to rise in Singapore? Will this amount provide you with a comfortable retirement? Take note, the fixed nature of these payouts. These payouts are fixed, meaning they won't increase over time, whether it's $1,560 or $2,450, the amount will stay the same 10, 20, 30 years into the future. So we need to consider the long-term implications. When we look at this thing called inflation, which is a silent killer, cost of living increase, the same payouts will be able to buy less things in the future. For example, with $100, if we go to Cold Storage supermarket, we can fill up an entire supermarket trolley. But in 10 years time, with the same $100, same amount of money, when we go and buy goods and services, we realize that, hey, our supermarket trolley may only be half full if we want to buy the exact same items, because now items become more expensive. So the value of money decreases over time, and it's essential to factor in how inflation will erode your purchasing power in the years ahead. Let's look at a case study. Meet Auntie Lim. At 65, she was looking forward to her golden years filled with freedom, adventure, family time. She imagined those long, leisurely trips, exploring new places around the world, and spending precious moments with her children and grandchildren. After all, she had worked her whole life, tirelessly, thinking that her CPF savings would actually carry her through this exciting new chapter comfortably. But at the age of 65, when Auntie Lim received her first CPF life payout, her excitement quickly turned into disappointment. The amount was far lesser than what she had hoped for. What's she going to do with $1,560? To her, it was just enough to cover the essentials like food, utilities, housing needs, and her dreams of globe-trotting, treating her grandchildren to unforgettable experiences, and truly enjoying retirement. Now it seems a little bit out of reach. She couldn't help but ask herself, is this what retirement is really supposed to feel like? The moral of the story is, Auntie Lim's story is one that many of us can relate to or we fear facing in our own future. While CPF provides a very solid foundation, it's designed primarily for basic living. It is simply the tip of the iceberg. If we want our retirement to be more than just getting by, if we want to pursue our passions, create lasting memories with our loved ones, and leave a meaningful legacy, we need to plan for more than just the basics. So take a moment to think, what do you truly want for your retirement? Moving on to misconception number 2. I can always find work during retirement. I'll just go back to work if I need more money in retirement. I think this is a belief many people have, thinking they can always rely on work to make ends meet in their golden years if they run out of funds. At 60 years old, let's share a real story. Uncle Tan was confident that he could continue working as a taxi driver well into his 70s. He had no plans to stop. After all, his job helped him to maintain a very steady income and allow him to enjoy some extra comforts in life. However, at the age of 68 years old, unexpected health issues forced Uncle Tan to stop driving, completely derailing his plans to supplement his own retirement income. Suddenly, he had to face the harsh reality that his retirement funds, number one, wasn't enough to sustain him. Now, consider the elderly folks, the old folks you often see working as cleaners in hawker centers or at McDonald's. Do you think they are doing it because they want to, given the choice? Sadly, in many cases, they don't have a choice. For some, working in these jobs is their only option to survive financially in their later years. We don't know, but maybe their kids don't want to support them, or maybe they just want to stay mentally active. Whatever it is, it's a stark reminder of the risk of relying too much on the idea that you'll always be able to find work that you like, I repeat. during retirement. Health issues, job market changes, and even family circumstances can unexpectedly limit our ability to earn, no matter how strong or how healthy we feel at this current point in time. The risk of relying on work in retirement. While staying active through work can be helpful, relying purely on work for your retirement income can be very risky, especially if you are of older age. Firstly, unexpected health issues can arise. Things that are very unexpected, making it impossible to continue working. Family responsibilities might also limit your time or ability to work as you age, and the job market becomes very unpredictable. You can struggle to find employment or become even less employable as you grow older, because that is the reality. You are less employable as you age. That's why planning beyond just working longer is essential. Your retirement should be built on the strong foundations of savings, your own personal investments, not just on the hope that you'll always be able to work to have that cash flow coming in every month. To achieve a very comfortable, worry-free retirement, start planning now, so you're not left depending on the job that may not be there tomorrow. Misconception number 3. One of the biggest misconceptions people have that they think is that they'll spend less in retirement. Now, this is true to a certain extent. They imagine that their expenses will automatically go down the day they retire. But here's the reality. While some expenses may decrease, others, especially things like healthcare, they tend to go up. Plus, now with more free time, you might find yourself spending more on hobbies, spending more on traveling, going overseas, and leisure activities you always wanted to enjoy that you probably wouldn't have spent before you retired. And watching your savings deplete over time because of very poor spending habits, it can create a lot of mental stress and worry when every month you see that your outflows are actually higher than your inflows. You're spending more than the cash flow coming in. Now it's not just about money anymore. It creates that very emotional stress, internal stress inside. So what we want in retirement, especially when you're going to retire, is that peace of mind. Let me share with you a story about expectation versus reality. Let me introduce you to Mr. and Mrs. Chen. Like many of us, they look forward to retirement, expecting that their expenses will naturally decrease. They thought they'll finally have a break from the daily grind, no more commuting costs, no more work lunches with colleagues they don't like, no need to buy work clothes. They imagined a simpler, more affordable lifestyle, and they thought their budget would shrink once they retire. Normal, right? The reality, they had more free time, but it also resulted in more spending. As soon as they retired, the reality was far from what they imagined. Now with more free time on their hands, they found themselves spending more than ever before. They began traveling overseas, going to Europe, going to Australia, going on vacations they always dreamed of but never had time for. They even started picking up new hobbies, went to play golf, went to learn painting, even volunteering in church. They found themselves spending on these activities to fully embrace their newfound freedom. They were enjoying life, but their expenses were actually increasing, not going down. Now, something else happened. As time passed, they started to face another challenge: healthcare. As they entered their 70s, medical expenses began to creep up, especially for regular checkups. They had to get medication and unexpected day surgeries. So in Singapore, healthcare is one of the biggest hidden costs of retirement, and unfortunately, it's something many retirees don't fully anticipate until they experience it firsthand. So what started off as a very manageable expense began to weigh very heavily on their budget. The moral of the story is this: retirement isn't about spending less. It's about planning wisely so you have the means to enjoy the future without the stress of outliving your savings. So start planning today, because the decisions you make now can actually help you live your golden years the way you always dreamed. Misconception number 4. I have plenty of time to save for retirement. I'm still young. I can always start saving for retirement later. Well, this also applies to me. I'm 35 this year, and sometimes it feels like retirement is such a long way away. I cannot visualize it sometimes. Okay, you might think, well, I'm still very young, there's still a lot of time. But here's the truth. Waiting too long also means that you miss out on the power of compound interest. The earlier you start, the more your money is able to work on its own. Trying to catch up later with less time is much, much harder. Let me share a story about the power of compound interest, the snowball effect of starting early. The story is about two people called Sarah and Jack. So both of them, they want to save for retirement, but they take different paths. Sarah starts saving $500 at the age of 30, while Jack waits until he's 45 years old. And thinking he's catching up, Jack decides to invest $1,000 a month from the age of 45 all the way to age 60. Now, let's fast forward to age 60. Sarah has been saving for 30 years from the age of 30 all the way until 60, while Jack has been saving only for 15 years. 15 years. You would think that Jack's higher monthly savings will make a difference in catching up, right? After all, they put in the same amount of money of $180,000 over here. $180,000. Well, the truth is, the final amount at 60 years old is that Sarah, using a growth rate of 4%, she actually ends up at $347,000. While Jack, who actually saved double the amount, $1,000, he only ended up with $246,000. And this is even though they both put in the same amount of money of $180,000. So you can see that even with Jack's higher monthly contribution, Sarah still has more money overall. Why? Because Sarah started 15 years earlier, giving her savings 15 extra years to grow through compound interest. And you can see over here that Sarah's profit is $167,000 compared to Jack, whose profit is only $66,000. That's almost a $100K difference just because Jack decided to procrastinate for 15 years. Now, the moral of the story is simple. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. It's never too early to begin, but it can be too late to catch up. And for the final misconception, number 5, I can rely on my children for retirement support. My children will provide for me in my golden years. This is a very common belief, especially in traditional Asian culture where I live in Singapore. It's a very common belief here that my children will take care of me in my retirement. It's something that has been sort of, let's say, mentally ingrained in our Asian culture, where the expectation is often that children will provide money every month for aging parents. They will help to give them some form of financial support. But here's the reality. This reliance can put a very significant strain on both the finances, the money aspect, and also the relationships within the family. So when it comes to money, sometimes it can be an unspoken obligation that the parent expect from their children. So let me share a case study with you. Mr. and Mrs. Lim are both in their late 60s. And like many parents, they believe that their children would provide for them when the time came. After all, they have raised their kids their entire life, sending them all the way to university. However, their eldest son, John, found himself in a very tough position. At 40 years old, John wasn't just supporting his parents. So John is 40, their child is 40. He was also paying for his own children's education and managing a very heavy home loan. He's part of what we call the sandwich generation. They're stuck between supporting aging parents and raising their own children, their own family. So John's income, because of that, there was a bit of a financial burden. It put a huge strain on him, both financially and emotionally. While he wanted to honor the tradition of filial piety, filial piety, they pronounce it correctly, and support his parents, the mounting pressure started affecting his marriage and family stability. His siblings too, he wanted help from some of his siblings to support the parents, but his own siblings had their own challenges. They have their own family to take care of as well. And they couldn't contribute as much as they hoped. The result, there's increased stress between the siblings because now, how come you're giving less? How come I have to give more? There's increased financial strain, and now there's a lot of tension within the family. This is a reality that many of us face or may already be experiencing. The truth is we can't always rely on our children, as much as we love them, to support us in our retirement. While family support is priceless and deeply valued, depending on need as the main source of your income in your later years can be very financially and emotionally risky. The mental stress that it might give your family. The financial burden on your children can threaten their own stability and create unnecessary tension in relationships. So here's the key takeaway. Plan for retirement as if family support is a bonus. It's a bonus, not a necessity. The greatest gift you can actually give your children is your own financial independence. Don't leave your future in their hands. Take control, do it yourself now, ensure that your retirement is secure, stress-free, no matter what happens. This advertisement by Income Insurance has over 2.2 million views. You can search for it on YouTube. It really speaks to this message. It's a very powerful reminder of the importance of securing your own retirement without having to rely on others. The best gift for your child is a retirement plan for yourself. So you can watch it on YouTube. The title is called The Best Gift for Your Child. I'll put the link in the description below as well. I hope you enjoy it. Over the last 9 years of working inside the financial advisory industry, I want to leave you with 5 good habits that I actually observe from clients who have helped to retire well, or they are in the process now of planning for a very comfortable retirement. So number 1 is no debt and a fully paid off home. So these are all my observations. They've stayed in the same house for the last 15, sometimes even 20 years. The mortgage has been long paid off. And this financial stability actually gives them a lot of peace of mind when they retire, where they don't have to worry about bank interest rate fluctuations. They don't have to worry about any form of debt. That's number 1. Number 2, what I observe is that this group of people who have retired well, they avoid this thing called lifestyle inflation. They don't fall prey to constantly finding ways to chase the next upgrade to their car, to their house. They are content with what they have. And this is something that comes internally, being able to live comfortably within your own means. Number 3, they know how to create multiple income streams. They're open-minded. They're open-minded to finding ways to create multiple income streams, whether it's from an online business, whether it's from investments, whether it's from dividends, whether it's from rental. They know how to generate the right form of income that will give them cash flow every month. And they do this properly, using a proper strategy without taking any kind of unnecessary risk, any kind of speculation, or any kind of gambling. Okay, there is a proper strategy involved. Number 4, this group of people that I talk to, I notice one thing that a lot of them have in common, especially when they retire comfortably, that they are cash rich. They're not asset rich and cash poor. All right, they focus on having available cash on hand for emergencies, especially when they're retired. They ensure that they have enough liquidity available. They can withdraw their money anytime, rather than having all their wealth tied up in assets that they cannot withdraw. For example, they might have a $2 million property, but you only get the cash if you sell it. Selling a property takes time. Managing a property also requires energy. That is a lot harder in old age, where you might not want to be looking for tenants. You might not be looking to pay for maintenance every month. There's a lot of factors to consider when it comes to illiquid assets. And lastly, number 5, they have adequate medical insurance. They all plan for their healthcare costs. They make sure that any kind of large medical bills, unexpected medical bills, it doesn't throw off their retirement plans. All of a sudden, they're hit by a $20,000 bill, and then that's it. A huge chunk of income is gone. They make sure all this are all well taken care of. As we summarize, these habits aren't just about making smart financial choices. They're about living with purpose and ensuring that your golden years are truly stress-free. That is the real meaning of retirement. As we wrap up today's session, I'd like to leave you with a powerful thought. Retirement isn't defined by age. It's the reward for the choices you make today. So what this means is retirement isn't something that just magically happens when you reach a certain age. It's the direct result of all the little choices you make now. It's about the small habits you build along the way, the savings you set aside, the smart decisions that you make consistently. If you wait until tomorrow, it might already be too late. So learn to take action sooner rather than later. Start planning earlier, start saving, and make these choices that will help you to secure a better future tomorrow. So your retirement begins now. Let's make it a great one. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any questions or you'd like to connect with me, you can actually scan the WhatsApp QR code on the screen, or you can also drop me an email at hello@matthiasyeo.com. Or if you'd like to find out a little bit more about myself, my values, my services, you can also check out my webpage, matthiasyeo.com. Thank you once again. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.